So guys, that is how the pandemic has changed my life so far. I've learned a lot of life lessons. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy right now in these crazy times. If you guys are a returning subscriber, what's up? If you guys are new, welcome to the channel. My channel is all about personal development, fitness, and finance. If that interests you, make sure you subscribe. But anyways, today is going to be the lessons that I have learned in 2020 so far. Now, I don't think it's a coincidence that the year is 2020 and perfect vision is considered 2020 because this is a really eye-opening year, and I know that sounds super cheesy, but it is true. I think a lot of things are happening in the world right now that are really opening up our eyes and seeing that there needed to be a lot of change. And we're going to discuss that in the video further, but what I'm getting at is this is a year that really goes down in history as a big milestone for change. There's just so many different things that this year has taught us already, and we're literally only about 6 months in. But for now, let's dive into the 5 things that I personally have learned through these tough times. You gonna dig a hole? You gonna dig a hole? Hey, stop. That's a big hole. Stop it. Stop. Stop. No. So the first thing that the pandemic has really opened my eyes about is taking care of myself and the planet. Now, this virus or disease is literally targeting people with weak immune systems, and that tends to be the people that eat unhealthy or don't exercise or the elderly. Now, this just really proves how important it is to really take care of your health, because if a virus like this ever comes along again, you want to be prepared and have a really healthy immune system to actually battle it. And a lot of people before would use the excuse of like, I don't have enough time to actually go to the gym and work out. Exercising and taking care of your health and eating right isn't just about the looks, it's really about overall health, and that's what is so important right now. And it's really motivated me to post more fitness related stuff on this channel because I do want to help people be healthier and happier, because when things like this happen, you want to be prepared. So I'm definitely posting a lot more fitness content now that my eyes have kind of opened up to this. And the other thing is taking care of the planet. So not only taking care of your own body, but the earth that you live on too. So it's not a coincidence that air quality has increased a ton. Pollution and greenhouse gases have decreased so much that it's literally visible from satellites. There's marine life that's swimming in the waters that they typically wouldn't because of the pollution. For example, the Italy canals, there's dolphins in there apparently, and I guess that hasn't happened in tons and tons of years. So you can just see what we were doing to the planet and our own bodies by not taking care of them. So this has really opened up my eyes as to what I need to do personally to take care of my own body, and then also help you guys and others take care of your body as well by sharing some fitness tips and tricks that I personally know, and then also taking care of the planet, whether that means either recycling and not just throwing your trash on the ground, to possibly even joining volunteering events where you clean garbage out of the ocean. The possibilities are really just endless because there's so many things you can do to help your own body, others, and the planet. And since the whole pandemic, I've actually had time to kind of reflect on these things and work on them, and now I know what I need to do in the future. So this was a huge eye-opener for myself. All right, let's go. Let's continue the walk. So guys, we're going on a little road trip now to No Frills. I'm just going to pick up some iced coffee. Little financial tip for you guys. If you guys go get a grande iced coffee from Starbucks, it is $3.41. If you buy a big jug, you get about 5 coffees and it's only about $8. So big iced coffee hack. But anyways, the second thing that the whole pandemic has really taught me is empathy. Now, I would say I'm a pretty empathetic person throughout my whole life. Like, I've always put myself in other people's shoes, but especially during a pandemic where people are, financially stressed, worried about feeding their families or even just keeping their home or where their next paycheck is going to come from, being able to relate to those people and just kind of, understand how they're feeling and let them know that you're there to support them is huge. And I think empathy is one of the biggest skills that almost everybody should strive to work on. And of course, we can't ignore Black Lives Matter. It's really sad, everything that's kind of going on right now, but I know good will come from this whole situation because people are becoming more empathetic and, reasoning with the Black community and seeing and hearing them, which it's been way too long for that to actually happen. I am excited for what the future holds though, because if you even look back 100 years ago, things were totally different than they are right now. So if you picture another 100 years from now, I think the future is going to be a very, very bright place where everyone can actually, live their life without being oppressed It really sucks that racism is still such a huge thing in 2020, but I do think it is going to be minimized, especially in the future, now that this movement is becoming so big. You almost can't ignore the fact that it is a thing at all. You start to feel that change, and everyone's perspective is changing right now as we speak and as you're watching this video. And I think it's all stemming from empathy, like I was saying. I honestly think in the future that things will be much different. Like, I would say my generation, by the time we're like 80, 90 years old, things will be a lot better, I hope. And I think a big thing that really plays a part with this whole perspective change in the world is social media and the internet. Now, whether people want to say it divides us, thing is, it exposes all the indecencies that have actually happened in the world. So if you look back like 100 years ago, there wasn't really a way to really expose things that would happen. For example, police brutality, we didn't have phones to take videos of it, even 30 years ago. But now that we do, we can actually see those moments that have been happening for tons of years now, and we can actually see it and try to change it. So that's why I think social media has been almost like a little blessing in disguise for this whole movement, because we actually see the behavior and now we can work on changing it and not allowing it to happen. I don't think anybody should ever have an advantage just because of the color of their skin, and vice versa. I don't think anyone should be oppressed because of the color of their skin either. But like I said, I do think great things are going to be happening in the future, and you can feel that whole perspective shift happening right now. Biggest takeaway is just put yourself in the other person's shoes and be an active listener. So many people want to just listen and they already have a pre-automated response in what they want to say. But right now is the time to actually listen and make change, and not just respond with an answer that you've already been thinking about. Because that's what got us here in the first place. No one was really ever listening. And now that people are starting to open up their ears and listen, that's when the change is slowly starting to happen. All comes down to empathy. So I just checked, and the actual Starbucks coffee, the iced coffee grande, is 473 milliliters, and it's $3.41. This giant guy over here is 1.42 liters, and it was $8. So you do the math, you'll save a lot of money by buying this. See how many kilometers we got with the gas? 418. That should last almost 3 weeks. The nice thing about getting gas at Canadian Tire in Canada is if you guys have the Triangle MasterCard, you actually get 5 cents back every single liter. Gotta use credit cards wisely. The next lesson that I learned was to surround myself with good people. People that will lift you up, support your goals, and just want to be there for you. And myself, I'm a big culprit of not even allowing this to be in my life. For the past year or so, I kind of neglected my own family and my closest friends. And this pandemic has really opened up my eyes to that fact. I've been reconnecting a lot with my friends and also spending a lot more time with my family. If you guys are someone like me where you kind of almost self-isolate yourself because you're introverted, I highly recommend you experiment a little bit and maybe socialize just a little bit more, and I guarantee you will like the results. I made a commitment to myself about 2 months ago that I was going to say yes to a lot more things, and it's really paid off. I've been a lot happier, I've reconnected with a ton of people, I feel great, and I feel like an entirely new person, and I strongly recommend you guys to just surround yourself with a really good group of people, but make sure you're 6 feet apart. The next thing that I learned was to not wait for things to happen. Me personally, I was putting off tons and tons of stuff before the pandemic. I was like, oh, when I have time, I'll do it. I'm just so busy right now, I can't do anything. I only have time to go to work or go to school. But something I learned was you actually have to set that time aside to do the things that you want to do. And I'm really lucky. I kind of realized this as the pandemic was happening. And as you guys probably know, YouTube is a huge goal of mine to really just grow the channel and have a career through this online opportunity. And I never took it seriously. I was always like, oh, when I have a lot of time, I'll do it. Or when I grow it to a certain point, then I'll try. But being at home for almost 3 months now, it almost like forced me to do the work, and I've reaped the benefits of that, and I've been super excited for what I have seen. But basically what this has taught me to do is to not wait for those moments, because we're not going to get a pandemic every, few months, God forbid, to actually have, 2-3 months to do whatever you want, because things will return to normal. And the worst thing you can do is just have those excuses of like, oh, when I have time, or maybe in the future, or next year, next week. And that's one of the biggest things I learned, to just go out and do what I want to do. It doesn't matter if I'm busy, I just need to set time aside and actually put effort into whatever my goals are, and never wait for the perfect time, because the perfect time is never. And that is a huge lesson that I've learned during my self-quarantine for about 3 months now. The fifth and final final lesson that I've learned, guys, is gratitude. Now, I always knew what gratitude was. It was like being thankful for stuff, but I never actually practiced it. And the way that I did this was I added gratitude into my morning routine. How I do this is every morning I get my journal and I write down my goals and what I want to do throughout the day, how I'm feeling. I basically use it almost like a diary, but like a goal diary. And what I started adding was a grateful 3. That's what I call it. But anyways, it's essentially 3 things that you are grateful for that you write every single morning. And that honestly puts you in a much better mindset for the rest of the day. So for example, for my grateful 3 today, I wrote friends, family, and my dog Daisy. And that's already putting me in a mindset of gratitude throughout the day. So maybe I get in like an argument with a family member or something. I know in the morning that I wrote that I was grateful for my family, so I'm most likely going to handle it a little bit differently. It's basically training your subconscious mind to be happy for the things that you already have and not always looking for the next best thing or hoping for something better. And gratitude has really changed my life since I've added that into my morning routine. And it's also saved me a lot of money because I used to be pretty materialistic. I'm not afraid or ashamed to admit that. I was always like, I gotta buy this, I gotta buy this, I gotta buy that. And now that I'm more grateful for the things that I already own, I don't really spend as much money, which is great. So guys, that is how the pandemic has changed my life so far. I've learned a lot of life lessons. I've learned a lot of life less. Oh my god. I've learned a lot of life less. I can't say this word. I have learned a lot of life lessons so far. We're only halfway through the year too, so I'm sure I'm going to learn a whole lot more in the next 6 months. And my goal for the end of the 6 months, basically when we hit 2021, is to be a full-time YouTuber working from home and traveling if that becomes a thing in the next little bit. But anyways, guys, leave a comment down below of what has changed in your life so far and what lessons have you learned during this whole quarantine and pandemic. It's really opened my eyes to a lot of things. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This was a really fun one to make because it's really important to me. A lot of stuff has changed since the pandemic for me, and I'm really grateful that I have kind of utilized this time to be better. But anyways, this is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like and a comment, and you should also subscribe. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you guys in the next one.